This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, today's topic for me is Khalitya and Palitya and cosmetology. So let's start with Khalitya. The term Khalitya and Palitya, it refers to hair fall. Okay, Khalitya means hair fall, Palitya means graying of hairs. And cosmetology, definitely I'll be dealing with modern science also. Presently in this era right now, Khalitya and Palitya is most commonest seen in all the age groups. You can say it even in young age also. Okay, and it has a very big boom or a big market. You can consider where they sell hairs. Even when you cut the hairs, we think that it is of no use. But a lot of physicians use that hairs to re-implant on the scalp. People who are bald, they can implant them. They help to grow the hairs on the bald. So for this particular term, they have widely been used as a tool where they invest plenty of money in this program. Okay, so let us start only with the point saying that what do you mean by Kalitya and Palitya. Okay, so and before to start, first I've told you about that particular prevalence. Nearly around 3% of world's population is being bald. So one thing you can consider, if it is 3%, then you can imagine what might be the main reasons for those particular patients to enter into baldness. We'll go that in detail wise. Okay, so let me start with the presentation now. The most who are affected with this problem is the young population, not only men but also women. Please do remember this. Baldness you can see not only in males but also in females, and people are spending a lot of money to get rid of this problem, but all in vain. Do remember this point, huh? People spend hell lot of money, but it all goes waste, all in vain. Why? I'll tell you the reason also for that. Okay, in our ancient Ayurvedic granthas, it is said that hair and nail are the malas of Asti Dhatu. I think you can understand this point what it is. So Asti Dhatu, that it is, they develop from the Asti Dhatu. You all know that there is hairs and nails are the mala of Asti. If Asti Dhatu is proper, then definitely the hair and nails will grow very fast. So Asti Dhatu Kshaya, where also when you see, you can see Astanasti Toto Sadanam Dantakesha Nakadishuhu, where they definitely tell you that main Kesha and Nakha, you will be seeing Kshaya in them. So if Asti Dhatu is proper, then the hair fall, hairs as well as the nails grow properly. So please do remember in your mind saying that when you are about to treat any patients who are dealing with this particular conditions, according to Ayurveda, you have to concentrate on Asti Dhatu. If your Asti Dhatu is good, then only your hairs and nails will grow better. So treat or see if there is any dushana of the Asti, then treat for that. Okay, this is said by our acharyas. I don't know how exactly modern science will say. I'll tell you how it will explain and all, because they don't agree with the Asti Dhatu and all. We'll deal that again later. But at least to please do remember, the Kshaya of Asti will lead into the hair and Nakha loss. Okay. So coming to the main point, as I told you, is like people are spending a lot of money to get rid of this problem, and all that goes in vain. Now, what's the main reason for this? Why they are not getting good results? Okay, why do you think people are spending a lot of money? They are approaching different physicians. You can see now doctors, uh, not only like orthopedic or a urologist or endocrine specialist, whatever it is, he can earn a lot. But even now you can see people, doctors are entering into cosmetology, which is a wide range, and especially in countries, in Western countries like US, it's hardly depending only on cosmetology. You won't believe every year nearly around $3 billion of money is spent on cosmetology because everybody wants to look young, nobody wants to look old. So that might be one of the reasons saying that they spend a lot of money. Okay, so why does it go in vain? Because there are plenty of risk factors in those particular people who are engaging or going through this particular treatment. So what are the risk factors? We will deal that now. Okay, so let us say what other explanations they have given in our science. Acharya Shushruta had said in his, he has explained in Nidanasthana 11th chapter regarding the explanation of Kalitya and Palitya. According to Sushruta, in Sushruta Samhita, that the Drishti and Lomakupa never grow throughout lifetime. Okay. Whereas Acharya Charaka is also mentioned in his text that hairs is the mala of Astidhatu. And Acharya Charandara is also considered as mentioned that Kesha Loma are the Upadhatu of Majjadhatu. Please consider here. There are different authors saying different views. Okay. But please, as we follow more of Charaka, Charaka is the main point, and you can see the most Asti Dhatu Kshay Lakshanas, which will very much be present in the people who are having loss of hairs. Okay, Kalitya patients. As I told you, there are plenty of causes or there are plenty of risk factors. One of the main causes of hair fall is one second, please. Okay, so one of the main reasons in Ayurveda, what we consider is Viruddhahara Vihara, Pitta Vardhaka Ahara Vihara, Hina, Mithya, and Atyoga of Ahara, Nitra, and Brahmacharya, consuming polluted water, living in polluted environment, non-application of oil on the scalp, consumption of doshi visa. In Ayurvedic science, see, you can say they have not yet mentioned about genetics. Okay, but we have to consider genetics when it comes to modern science because it is usually Kalitya and Palitya is genetical disorder. You can say like when your grandfather or any person is bald, then definitely your father will definitely be bald, and even it may go on, your siblings may pass through it. So usually it is a genetically disorder what we consider. If it is present in the genes, then we cannot exactly know the record. ನಾನು start ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ record ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ಈ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ನಡೀತದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹೌದಾ, ಅದು ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡೋದು, ಇದಿರ್ಲಿ. ಮುಂದೆ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವಿನಯ್. Okay, sorry. Main causes, as I told you in Ayurveda, are these. But one of the points you can definitely had based on the etiology which KO can see in the patients. But among these, because see, usually in Kalitya and Palitya, the more they say is that like Pitta Arakavera, the patients who are having more predominance of Pitta, there the hairs will grow very quickly and fast. Okay, if the dushan of Pitta is seen, then the hair fall and grayness will be very fast. So that is the reason why you can concentrate more on Pitta dosha here. Excuse me. Why I'm telling you is that because if the treating of Asti as well as Pitta dosha, these things why I'm telling you is for your treatment purpose. When you understand the disease, then you need to treat. So based on the involvement of the doshas and based on the involvement of the dusha as well as the sthanika, so you can definitely see how to treat and when to treat. Okay, so based on this you can definitely go. These are the plenty of vidanas. Let me say that because you don't get more vast reference for Kalitya and Palitya, I have sort out very little got the references, so I'm telling you those particular points here. So understand all these particular points, what are the main causes for it. Let me go one by one here. Viruddhahara Vihara Pitta, as I told you, is the same. Hinam, Nitya, and Atyoga is like the patient or the person who undergoes more, less, or not at all. Okay, he doesn't sleep, or he doesn't eat, or he doesn't follow brahmacharya. Now you can definitely understand what is brahmacharya because you are experiencing it now from past 40 days. I really doubt nobody is going through a proper brahmacharya. So where you will definitely see the changes inside your own body. You can see how doshas react and how we are people are forcing you to come and sit on this particular classes, right? So based on that, definitely you can say that your doshas will definitely change. One of the main point I will definitely stress and tell you is nidra, sleep. Sleep plays a very important role in maintaining Khalitya and Palitya. This is a high risk factor where a patient can lose a lot of hairs or it can turn into gray hairs, both vice versa, when the patient doesn't sleep properly. Okay, so Nidra is one of the, I can say it's a condition. Nidra is a condition where everybody needs to sleep. If there is no proper sleep for a human being, then definitely there are different physiological changes taking place inside the body, which will definitely alter or change or enter into pathological also. Okay, so every human body in his lifetime, at least per day, he has to sleep minimum 7 hours. So, I can ask everyone to please mute your mic. Can everyone please mute your mic? Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so Nidra, it plays very important role. If there is no proper sleep, then definitely you will alter lot of doshika sthanas will change, the doshas, the dushas, everything changes. I can hear people talking, please. Can you please off the mic? Can you please? Yeah, everybody's mic is mute. Yeah, roll number. I don't know who is this. Please mute your mic. Roll number 50. Please mute your mic. Okay. Roll number 69. Please mute your mic. Please don't on your mic. It disturbs me. I cannot take the class properly. So please don't on your mic in between. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for the disturbance. Let me start. I hope you can see my slides, right? Can anyone say yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Cool. Fine. Where was I? Regarding the risk factors, right? According to Ayurvedic science, we just went. Let us deal with modern. See the comparison between Ayurveda and modern risk factors now. See, so many explanations are given in modern. Okay. Let us deal one by one. In modern science, fungal infection, definitely a positive point. One more point, I just wanted, sorry, I'll come back to the Ayurvedic point. I want to stress this here is the fourth and fifth point. Consuming polluted water, living in polluted environment. These 2 points are very important, okay? How this will act on hair fall or grayness of hairs. You people definitely can think. I've seen a lot of patients complaining who are having hair fall, Kalitya or Palitya. They come from rural areas. Most of them, not all, okay? Most of them. Why do they have it? Commonly, when any patient coming near you with Kalitya and Palitya, first thing in your mind, you have to think whether it is hereditary. Second, you have to think it is nutritional, whether his nutrition is proper or not. Third is frequent use of hard water. Hard water definitely means like the bore wells, the water of a bore well. So you use those particular water frequently for bath or for drinking or anything. Those are very hard water, which will definitely cause major disturbance in your body. It will definitely absorb the nutrients and even it will help into formation of Kalitya and Palitya. So there are plenty of other things. So that particular points, that is the fourth and the fifth point, is very, very important. No matter if you apply go for the 6th point, non-application, even you apply oil for your head every day, but still if you are consuming hard water and polluted environment you're staying, there is a lot of chances where you can say that you may enter into Kalitya and Palitya. Why? Because there's a severe amount of hard waters. And there is one more reason where the patient may enter into plenty of kidney disorders, especially like calculi, renal calculi. Okay, urolithiasis. The formation of urolithiasis can also take place. Why? Because hard water contains more amount of calcium carbonate and sodium hypochlorite. So more amount of these are present in hard water. That is the only one reason where you can say that the water gets more hard and gets very difficult for the digestion of the body inside, and it gets more absorbed, helps in the formation of oxalates. Oxalates are nothing but stone formations. Okay, so for that particular reasons, our acharyas have mentioned these positive factors. Coming to modern science, here you can see there is a fungal infection. First point, ulcerative colitis is nothing but it comes under. I can't even ask questions for you now. Very good. Ulcerative colitis is nothing but it comes under IBS, inflammatory bowel disease. Okay, where ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease both are combination. First two are very important. Fungal infection, ulcerative colitis. Why ulcerative colitis? Colitis is nothing but inflammation in the intestines, where there is physiologically, whatever food you eat, hell amount of nutrition is absorbed in the intestines, small intestine. Okay, so ulcerative colitis occurs in small intestine. If there are ulcers or infection or inflammation in that particular thing, then there is no absorption of the nutrients in that particular person. That is the main reason why they have mentioned ulcerative colitis instead of nutritional deficiencies. Okay. Next is vitamin B12, iron, zinc, biotin, D deficiency. All these are the vitaminal nutritional deficiencies. Then they added rheumatoid arthritis, thyroid dysfunction, vitiligo. These are all autoimmune disorders. Okay, we can consider all autoimmune disorders. One more basic point is hormonal imbalance. The 14th point you can see hormonal imbalance. This and 17th point usage of contraceptive pills. Okay, this is most commonly being widely seen in lot of female patients. Okay, anemia. And the last point is over usage of shampoo containing selenium. You can see everybody uses shampoos to wash their hairs, obviously, but when you see in the shampoo behind, you should not see the presence of selenium, sodium hypochlorite, or any type of a preservatives. If you see that, it is definitely harmful for your hairs. Okay, so use shampoos which do not contain these particular points, where your hairs also should grow properly and smooth and definitely strong. Okay, so these are the most commonest risk factors you can see where you can see in Palitya. This is the pathology where in modern science how they have explained. These are the three different stages, cycles where you can see the hair fall or grayness of hair can be seen. First three stages in the cycles are anagen, catagen, and telogen. About 90% of the hairs of this head is in the anagen growing phase. It means like at this particular point, you can see that okay, you can see that yeah, sorry, about 90% of the hair of the head is anagen or the growing phase. It's a growing phase which lasts for anywhere from 2 to 8 years. The catagen or the transition phase typically lasts for 2 to 3 weeks, during which the follicles shrink. During the telogen cycle, which lasts for 2 to 4 months, the hair rests. Okay, so these are the three stages of the three cycles where you can say that the first one, anagen, it covers nearly 9% of the hair of the head. In those particular point, the growing of phase takes place. Okay, where it can last from 2 to 8 years. In this particular period, you can see the falling of the hairs starts. Okay, then the catagen stage, where the typically 2 to 3 weeks in this, the hair follicles. Okay, the follicles start shrinking. If the follicle starts shrinking, then there is a complete absence of hair growth in that particular regions. Okay, in the telogen stage, it is completely gone. The hair is completely rest, and there is no chances you can see. A lot of people you can see, like if you have a fall or if you have undergone any sutures in any part of your body. Okay, if there are sutures in any parts, there you can see there is complete absence of hair growth. There will be no growth of the hair. Because why? Because there are no hair follicles grown. When there is stitching takes place, the sutures, it will completely vanish the follicles. So if there are no follicles, then there is no chances of hair growth. So that is why if you see any mark or any stitch in your body, you can observe there, you will definitely not see any type of hair growth. Okay, so hair grows about 6 inches. Please do remember, 6 inch a year for most people. You can imagine 6 inch means it's too much. Okay, but we definitely have a haircut, and from past 45 days we do not have. So you can see how many hairs we are growing now. So in this particular point, you can measure them at least on an average. In an adult person, you can see the person can increase his hair 6 inch long in one whole year. In a normal individual, the hair fall is 100 to 250 hairs per day. Okay, normal thing, it's like more than 150 hair fall would be indicative that there is a problem. But usually 150, 100 to 150 is most commonly you can see. You will definitely lose so much, we will not observe them. You can only observe when you see, when you take a head bath. But usually when you comb or anything like that, it is fine. You will see that much. If it is falling more than 150 or 200, you please definitely think that there is some problem with that particular patient's hair growth or hair fall. So excuse me, so that might also be one of the reason for it to see that. Okay, so next coming to the point is Ayurvedic point of view, where Sushruta has mentioned saying that there are 3 types of stages or where you can see the hair falls can be seen. As mentioned about the hair fall in Sushruta Samhita Nidhanasthana, that is in the 3 stages. I've told you Sushruta Nidhanasthana 11th chapter, you can see the reference about Kalitya and Palitya. This given shloka I will show you. Kalitya is alopecia totalis. Palitya is whitening of the hairs, alopecia erecta, you can say. Indralukta, where there is hair fall in patches, alopecia areata, where there can see there is patches, there is no growth of hair at all. Okay, so you can consider the first and 2 points is like Kalitya and Palitya. Okay, so as I told you, see there is the nidana for the disease. Sushruta Nidhanasthana 11th chapter, you can definitely refer this particular shloka, where you will be knowing how exactly the pathology of this particular disease can occur. Okay, we rather than disease seeing, I can definitely say like it's a condition. Okay, because why I want to use a word as condition is that in some people you can definitely treat them. So the recurrence is very less if you compare, but if it is genetically 100%, there is no treatment for it. Cannot grow. There are plenty of physicians, scientists saying that you can regrow, but I'm definitely not sure about it if it is genetically been seen. You can see those people who start using the wigs, or even they use a nice how you know how you grow the grasses, right? You just implement, they just put the seeds inside the mud, then they grow it and they take that particular point, and wherever they want they just keep it. You can see the garden lawn, you just keep them, you can grow it anywhere in any part of the soil, until unless you have a good soil and good proper amount of water, they will definitely grow. So that technique they have used even in hair falls. In some it has been proved very good, but in some it is not. And based upon the treatment, I can definitely assure you that it's very expensive. I'm damn sure for one particular square feet they start charging you. For the whole head, if you see the whole head, if there is no hairs, they may cost you nearly around 4 to 6 lakhs rupees. So that is the reason why where doctors make hell lot of money in cosmetology, and people pay hell lot of money for it. Okay, uh, best example I can give is like you all have seen this movie Bala, right? I know you have all seen that, no doubt. In that also you can see in that particular age, like age group of 28, he has lost all his hairs. You can see his father is not having it, even his grandfather. So it definitely you can say it's an hereditary disorder, and there is no any chances where you can get treated with that particular patients, because genetically it's very difficult to prove. Genes are such a complicated science where we cannot exactly treat the diseases. Okay, so try to understand why I'm saying this is because when a patient comes near you with Kalitya or Palitya, please, first thing you have to consider is see whether you can treat it or not. Because when any patient it comes, you have to see the sadhya sadhyata first, whether you can treat or not, or very difficult to treat, whatever it is. You see that and then explain it to patient, because his confidence, to gain his confidence is very important. Based on his confidence, then only you can be able to treat that particular patient. So that is the reason why find out the risk, you find out the lifestyle of his, see whether it is genetic or not. You take all the whatever nidanas or causes factors what I have told you. What does he do, what is stress level, what is his sleep, what things he eats, what he doesn't eat, what hormonal changes does it takes place. If there is thyroid endocrine, please rule out endocrine disorders. If there are any type of endocrinal disorders also, there will be plenty of hair falls, especially in thyroid. Because in hypothyroidism you are definitely see there is a main symptom is hair fall and weight loss. These are the two prime symptoms where you can see in hypothyroidism. So if these two symptoms are seen in hypothyroidism, you can think that he may enter into hypothyroidism. And even if there is hair fall a lot, you can consider saying that the patient is entering into hypo or not. Okay, so if he's having hypothyroidism along with hair fall with a different disease, please treat for the thyroid first. Initial disease whichever the patient is having, treat that. Secondary disease will automatically vanish on its own. So analyze which disease comes first, the primary or the secondary, then you will be able to understand it according to it. Okay, so as I told you about the nidana, this is samprapti. Please do refer the shlokas, I do not want to enter into it, you know about it actually. The meaning of the above phrase is that when the vata dosha, I'll just explain you the samprapti how exactly it takes place. Okay, here exactly initiation of vata is definitely there. Why? Because there is sarva sharira vyapi, it travels throughout the whole body. Dusha is definitely, I'll come deal with that with the just explain me the samprati first here. Okay, here when the vata dosha gets vitiated along with the pitta dosha, it goes into the romakopa, that is nothing but the hair follicles, and which results in the hair fall. Okay, so vata along with the pitta, so any of the disease where vata and pitta getting vitiated, so you can see that the pitta is more predominant here, but it even vitiates vata, and it goes and accumulates. Sthanas semester taking place only in the follicles, hair follicles, that is the Romacopum. So in Romacopum, at that particular point, it vitiates. It such a vitiates that it even removes the follicles. It removes the hair follicles from that particular point and helps you in the hair fall. Okay. The next pathology that occurs is that the Rakta dosha. Even Rakta dosha is very, very important here. And where Rakta dosha is more predominant? Definitely liver, Yakrit. Okay. If Yakrit and spleen, according to Ayurveda, we are considering here. So I'm explaining according to Ayurveda. If Rakta vitiation taking place, then definitely you have to concentrate on the liver. If the liver is not able to function properly, I mean like if it is not able to digest the food, or if it is not able to help in digestion of the food also, or absorption also, or any particular thing, in that particular point you will definitely see there is hair fall, because you won't get proper nutrition from the food what you are eating. Okay, so that's also one important point here. The next pathology that occurs is please don't disturb. Actually, one persons here, please keeping your mics on. Don't keep your mics on. The next pathology that occurs is that the Rakta dosha along with the Kapha dosha goes in the Romacopum, which causes the, I can still hear you people talk. Okay, so it which causes the Romacopus to close, which ultimately results in non-growth of the hair, that the respective follicles is to the respective follicles. So this disease is called as Kalitya or Palitya. Please do remember this particular point, where only one reference has been given in Shishruta Nidhanasthana 11th chapter regarding the preference of Kalitya and Palitya. Please, I'm requesting all to close your mics. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, fine. I hope you people have understood this. Next, which are the those Srotas being involved in this particular disease in Kalitya? Mainly Svedavaha, Astivah, Majjavaha, Rasavaha, Purishavaha. Basically, two definitely you have to understand. First one is the Rasavaha, Svedavaha, Astivah. These three are very, very important. Okay. Even you can say the more you sweat, the more the glowness of the skin occurs. Okay. If you're not sweating properly, the glowness of the skin reduces, and it's a very major factor for the glowness of the skin. So especially the melanin content, which is a skin pigment, is very important. If this particular melanin is not produced properly in your skin, then you will definitely see there is vitiligo produced. That is white patches of the skin. Okay, you can definitely see those. So not to occur in those particular people where melanin is less. That is the reason why you can see most of the Western peoples, they stay in such a regions, areas where there is no sun at all, or I mean like the sun is very less. In summer also you can see there is maximumly 20 to 21 degrees Celsius, which is nothing. 21 is nothing for them. So that is the reason a lot of foreigners do visit India or other particular countries which are more hot. Okay, especially in summer seasons, because in now at least you can see it goes up to 40 degrees Celsius in India now. So in those particular people who are staying in less exposure to sun, they enter into such kalitya, palitya, cosmetology, or even they enter into cancer. Okay, because you know you definitely get vitamin D directly from sun, nothing else. There is no any other source to get vitamin D rather than from the sun rays. So even the production of the melanin also enters a lot. You can even see now from one whole month you're sitting at home, will definitely have a skin very glowed. Immediately you go out for only one day in the sun, you just stand for 10 minutes, you will start seeing your original color growing and turning into black. It is definitely happening to black or even wheatish color. You will definitely see changes a lot in that. So the sun, the skin pigments are more get observed, and the melanin is produced, which maintains the skin. So as your age passes on, the rasa, the dosha gets vitiated. Okay, if rasa is getting vitiated, then definitely the other dhatus, Uttarottar dhatu portion doesn't take place. Even the shukra and final product is the oja. Even that doesn't produce properly. So that is the reason why, as you grow older, all the doshas and dushas will start depleting, which will end up in different other pathological conditions. They may enter into different conditions may arise as you get older. Okay, so these are the basically the main srotas which will hamper the formation of kalitya and palitya. Okay, so this is one of the main basically point to be explained. I want to tell you most things about is this is what next point is about the modern kinds. I just go this very fastly. You can read this in your own. Okay, alopecia is nothing but hair fall. It's a condition in which there is a loss of hair from the head and the body. Alopecia can refer to general hair loss or male pattern baldness. You know the male pattern baldness, it's like U shape on your head. Okay, in a normal individual, there is a nearly 1 to 1.5 lakhs of hairs. You can imagine 1 to 1.5 lakh of hairs grown on your scalp. Okay, there are mainly two types of alopecia: scaring, non-scaring. Please do remember these two: scaring and non-scaring. What is the difference in these two? Scaring is a type of baldness where the hair fall in which the hairs fall with the follicle. If this is happening, then it is very difficult to treat. Okay, in this type of baldness, there is no chance of hairs growing back after falling. Why? Because in scaring, the follicle only comes out along with the hair. As I've told you before, without the follicles, the hair cannot be grown. Okay, so for that reason, you need that particular hair follicle. So if along with the hair fall, if you can see the follicles are also falling down, then that particular condition is completely called as scaring type of baldness. Non-scaring is a condition where you can definitely treat them, where the follicles will do remain, but the hairs will be gone. But after treatment, you will definitely see good amount of hair growing in those. Okay, and the last point is in women, in the ovarian or in the adrenal gland dysfunction causes the hairs to fall. As I told you before, the endocrinal disorders. Endocrine only is nothing but any type of a cyst, polycystic PCOS, or a cyst in the fallopian uterus. Any particular point, cysts are growing in those particular regions. Thyroid, endocrinal is again related with your steroids. Okay, progesterone, estrogen, sexual hormones, even those are very much essential. In these particular, if they are reduced, definitely the hair fall will be coming. Hair fall, hormonal imbalance, nutritionals, and genetic. These three are very important for you to diagnose it in the patients. Okay. Now next, I will be telling you the diagnosis. Like how do you diagnose? Which type of tests you need to do in those particular patients who are undergoing in this particular. One of the main point is the trichogram. Uh, Trichogram is nothing but a particular test where you will definitely see that how exactly the amount of the hair which is I mean like amount of hair grown and seen exactly. Okay, so how do they do this particular trichogram is a trichogram is a semi-intrusive method of hair analysis. They analyze the hair that involves nearly they what they do is like they flick. Okay, I mean they pluck hairs from the particular patient. They take nearly from 50 to 100. Exactly in this particular range they pluck the hairs. Okay, from different parts of the scalp, not only from one region, different parts they start picking. And what they do is they stick them into the slide and examine them under a microscope. Okay, they'll put it in the slide and they'll examine under the microscope. What they will see is 100% of the hair should be seen in the resting phase at one time, and that indicates the potential of that particular problem. If there is amount of near nutritional can be known from this by the slide method, what we go by trichogram. In this particular next point, that's one also you see. This is same microscopic explanation of the plucked follicle. So in trichogram, you will be seeing the hair. In the next point, you will be seeing the hair follicle. You will be observing. Why? You want to see any type of infection, fungal infections. If any type of fungal infections, you can see most of fungal infection also you can see like in a lot of cases of psoriasis. Okay, and there are plenty where you can see even in this particular point the hair growth or hair fall will definitely be reduced. Okay, and biopsy of the scalp. Biopsy definitely it's an end point. You can do a biopsy of any part of the tissue. If you do take a biopsy of the head, scalp, a small part, you can definitely do. I've told you biopsy is a different test. It's an end test where you do not have any idea how you which test to go. You can go for biopsy to give an entire idea about the particular tissue or a cell, whatever you're taking. Okay. Then you have androgenic lab. These are hormonal. TSH, definitely hormonal. Serum iron, nutritional, iron bonding capacity. Why iron and iron bonding capacity is important is these are the bonding where it maintains the hair follicles with your skin. Okay, if the serum iron level is also reduced and the iron binding capacity is reduced, then the hair follicles will not be able to stick onto your scalp. They will reduce. That is the reason why you need to go with iron deficiency and transferrin saturation. These three or 6th, 7th, 8th point are all related with your iron deficiencies. Okay, so last point is CBC, where the complete blood count. In complete blood count, why you need to go with complete blood count is to see the RBCs, WBCs, and especially the WBC and even the platelets. Why WBC and mainly ESR also, erythrocyte sedimentation rate. ESR and WBC will play very important role along with your hemoglobin, because if you're anemic, you're less nutrition and you're more entering into Khalitya. So if your WBC and ES are increasing, then it is definitely inflammatory or it is definitely infection. So any infection or inflammation is present inside your body, where that is the main reason where you cannot be able to grow your hairs properly. So do remember all the criteria or all the tests what you want to do in these particular patients. You can do it. As I told you, one thing is genetically. So if there is genetically present, you need not have to do any test for genetics, gene test. I do not want to go for any chromosomal study in that particular patient, so I've not mentioned it here for you. Why? Because you can definitely see from his grandfather is bald, his father is bald, he is also bald, and definitely you can understand it's a genetical. You not have to go any particular test for it. For any research or you want to prove anything, at that time you can go for a chromosomal 17 study, chromosome 17 genetic study, where you can definitely be able to identify. Okay, and even what type of chromosomes are present, which are genes are present, which can alter the growth of the hair. Okay, there are baldness. There are different stages. You can see some people at the time of birth. Okay, they don't have hairs at all, and slowly as the age grows, the hair grows. But in these people, if it is genetically seen from the birth only, they do not have any type of hairs. And if they do have, at the age of 16, 18 years, when they come to puberty, where Asti Dhatu, or you say that ossification is completely done at that particular region, when they reach, you can see there is complete hair fall occurring, because due to the presence of these genetics genes. So hell amount of the hairs reduced, so that might also be one of the reason for it. So at the age of 20, 22 only, you can see the hair fall is more. Okay, if genetically it is seen and the patient is getting more stressed with his lifestyle, okay, sedentary lifestyle, less of sleep, heavy tensions, these are all will trigger more, and he will enter into Khalitya and Khalitya very quickly. Okay, so one of the basic very main point is this thing. Please try to understand this point. Okay, so these are the tests what you need to do. Final to end up, I will just clear it with what are the precautionary measures you need to take to prevent your hair care. Okay, first point is always use clean and cold water to wash your head. Avoid using warm waters. Okay, warm water you can use only when you are using it the oil. This also matters a lot. Okay, You can ask questions anything which is related to you later. Regular application of oil on the scalp, very important. Use conditioners. Okay, I'm not sure about this. Fine, you can think, because now, right now all people are more dependent on it. As I told you, people are making a lot of money by using such particular things. Eat protein. This is very important. You need to eat more protein rich food. Comb hair only after the hair gets dried. Fine. I'll add one more point, and this point is, do not wipe your hairs very with force. I don't like, don't put more pressure on your hairs to wipe the hairs. Okay, and do not use any type of machines to dry your hairs. They will also cause loss of hair. Okay, remove stress from your life, very important point. Okay, and yogasana. Okay, asana, you actually, yoga plays very important role in maintaining. Why? Because it calms your mind. So calming your mind and everything will definitely trigger into growth of the hairs. So there are different asanas also. So if you follow these particular asanas in, then there is a good chances where you do not enter into any type of asanas. I mean, like hair falls. Sorry. These are some of the household remedies what you can do if you want to prevent the hair loss. 1 pinch of saffron powder, 2 tablespoon Ishtimadu churnam, 2 tablespoon milk. Make it like a paste and apply on the scalp. Directly apply it on the scalp. Don't apply it on the hairs. And keep it for 1 hour and rinse it. Gokshura churna plus amlaki churna. Amlaki churna is very important. Guruchi sattva. Okay. So try to imagine why is this like it is more triggering your vataja and pittaja gunas. More these dravyas act on vata and pitta, triggering. That is the reason why. Drink milk at least 2 times a day. These things are definitely safe for the patients who are in an age group like a middle age group, not like older people. Okay, older people you cannot help out anything. Don't tell me like you got a patient 50 years old who wants to grow his hairs. It becomes very difficult for us to treat and even for you to listen also. So don't bother about that. But these are the things what you need to do if the patient is in young. Okay, so drink milk at least for 2 times a day. If there is a dandruff on the hair, dandruff is one of the palithyas. That's what dandruff, what you say, grayish hairs, grayish hair follicles, palitya, is one of the main causative factors, dandruff. So, and what is the main reason for dandruff is another point. We can definitely say stress. Too much of stress or too much of thinking to your brain will definitely end up in the formation of dandruff. Okay, and if you do not rinse your hairs frequently, according to me, if you ask every day, I can definitely say that every day taking bath is also not good in the people who have a lot of hair falls. Alternatives is fine, or weekly twice is fine. Weekly twice taking head bath is very good. A lot of people have a habit of taking head bath every day. They feel incomplete if they don't take head bath every day. So it changes. I do not want to comment on that, but it depends on that. But according to science, if you go 2 to 3 days in a week is fine for an head bath if you take. And please do make sure that you apply oil every day, or soak your head with oil in the night and take bath in the morning. So it all depends on this. Eat lots of fruits like goa. That's nothing but like peru, what you call orange, etc., which contains more of vitamins. These things are contains a lot of vitamins. That's the reason why they have mentioned these things. Okay. So here I'm ending of the presentations. I do not want to go more into cosmetology. If you please have any doubts, please you can on the mic and ask me. I'm open for discussion. Let me on my camera now.
Sir,
Yeah, please tell me.
how Purusharva Srotas is involved, sir?
Yeah, I told you now it is a small intestine. I did not observe it. Can I know your name, please? Who is this?
Sana.
Yes, Sana. Tell me. How Purisha
How?
Srotas is in nothing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Purisha Srotas is involved in nutritional disorders. Say like if the nutrition is not proper, whatever food you're taking, right? If it doesn't get observed properly, then there is no use. That's the word when modern science we have used ulcerative colitis. In ulcerative colitis, it's mainly the ulcers are formed in the intestinals. Okay, these are intestine theme. Okay, then definitely the absorption of the nutrition doesn't take place. Where in this particular part explanation, you compare it to an Ayurvedic science. In Ayurveda, also Purusha Srotas we consider saying like will be more amount of excretory, like mala is thrown out. But if that particular mala stays a longer period inside, then definitely there is nutritional loss. Why? Because whatever you're eating doesn't get, if you're not eating properly, if not sleeping properly, then there is constipation. Okay, if there is constipation, then there is no proper absorption of the food. Okay, it stays like that. As I told you before also, if you're eating a non-vegetarian, you can see a non-veg person can digest the food even for 72 hours. The food stays inside him and it gets absorbed again and again, because chicken is so much, any type of a non-meat is heavily, it gets absorbed very quickly and delayed. It's more, but not for a vegetable food. It stays inside, but it doesn't give you nutrition at all. So the nutrition is less. The Purishava gets vitiated. That is the reason why when Pitta gets more predominantly vitiating. Okay, and main particular point to consider is Vata also, because Vata main sthana is Pakvashaya. You consider whole small intestine as well as large intestine. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, anybody more? Yeah, can everybody on your cameras, please? Let me see. Yes, sir, just 5 minutes. I'll be done. I have to give your attendance. I hope you people are there, man.